Welcome to The Real UG. I'm your host, Mona. My guest today is from Kenya. Yes, Kenya. He's an actor and a director. Gilbert Lukalia. Welcome to Uganda, man.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, wow. You grew up in a military home. Tell me how...
Yeah?
It's funny. Growing up in a military home.
Came out. Yes,
Well,
I did.
it came up somehow. You grew up in a military home, right?
Yes, I did.
So tell me, how did that shape you up as a person?
Discipline, routine, adhering to the law and, stuff like that, and order, really, which I think are things that you find in our industry, especially when there are proper standards of professionalism. I grew up in a homestead, let alone a camp, where you had routine, clean-up exercises, and when your father told you to do this on a Saturday, it was almost, we were shaped that way. Let me say I was shaped that way. And it really did me a good...
Okay,
yeah.
Doesn't sound interesting at all.
Well, it's not when you're a child, but you look back, these dots, you connect them when you're of age, and you realize that bit of my past really helped me here now, where I am. And
so you went on to direct Marshall of Finland. Mm-hmm. Did your background come in handy? The background always comes in handy in every film, especially when there are so many things being woven together in a film, because I love to look at a film as a perfect society where there will be love, there will be hate, there will be revenge, there will be betrayal, there will be all those things. And you're definitely going to try to harness a bit of your background. And it did, yes it did. Although Marshall of Finland was really just a story about good leadership, because I don't know if many people know about this, but Marshall of Finland, the Mannerheim, the guy, is really the founding father of Finland, but he made mistakes. Big as he was, acclaimed as he became, and he's royal. When you go to Finland, the first thing you meet at the airport is a statue of him, very domineering, and they're telling you this is our father, well, in their language. But but he made mistakes around love. Fell in love with girls, let them down, because his dreams kept changing as it should be, as a human being, setting goals, achieving them, setting different ones, and it did happen as far as his love relationships were concerned. And to me, that was a story I wanted to tell in Marshall of Finland. Not his military life, not his father of nations status, but that type, that story that is organic, that story that I believe anyone in the world can relate to. And I think really that's why we make film.
Life is like a mountain. Sometimes there's uphill, and sometimes there's downhill. The story of the Marshall of Finland.
So this film sparked a controversy. Why is that?
Well, controversies, I must say. I guess this has happened even here in South Africa, in Kenya. It has happened. I remember the first grader, people complaining, why is BBC telling a Kenyan story? I'm sure people have, exclaimed loudly and with a lot of angst how Queen of Katwe is being told by the white person. That was really the controversy, because they felt it's almost as if we are doing the story of their founding father, They did not understand that the angle we'd taken of the story was that we are telling a part of his life that was quite universal and can be consumed anywhere. It wasn't about this hero, it was about his love affairs, like I earlier mentioned. And it was interesting, because for me that really worked in a way. Well, and the privileges I got when we were premiering it at the Helsinki Film Festival, because then I had to be, it was produced by the Finnish Broadcasting Corporation, and I had to be chauffeur-driven with big military guards, and you know, I could not even hang out because I'd get to my hotel and I'm looking out, they're still there. It was that crazy because they feared that when I get to the airport, there would be riots and I'd be killed, and you know, insurance comes in and all those things come in. So it was a bit of fun for me, and that thing of, well, well, not when it comes to having my private life, but it worked well because eventually I went there. It took a few radio interviews and TV interviews to help them understand that really this is not us, you know, imagining we can tell the story of Mannerheim, Gustav Mannerheim. It's not that. This is something that you know, we feel can be consumed anywhere, and they understood it. And I remember when we did the premiere eventually at the Helsinki Film Festival, we got a standing ovation, and they were like, "Wow, we couldn't have seen it that way." Yeah. So to me, that gives me joy up to now. Yeah.
Wow, you sound like a very controversial man.
I want to be even more controversial if I'm given the opportunity, because I believe film needs to get away from the real life up to a point, tell stories that people will look at and imagine a society differently. Much as I want to be, you know, to tell the ideal stories of love and hate and, you know, happy endings, I also want to be remembered for something crazy, and controversy is good.
Well, we will surely remember you for your controversial film right there.
Well, not yet.
But
I'm sure I'll do
sounds
something
really good. Yeah,
more controversial soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
So very soon you're going to be nicknamed Mr. Controversy.
Yeah, and much more.
And you don't mind being called that?
I think I want that as my epitaph on my grave.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it won't
Gilbert
be.
Lukalia, the most controversial East African filmmaker.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's hope your death won't be caused by one of those controversial movies that you have done. we shall proudly write that on your grave.
Please do.
But anyway, moving on. Tell me your perspective as an actor when it comes to both film and theater.
Are you saying how it affects me as a filmmaker? Well, I'm not sure I understand your question.
No, in an actor's perspective.
Yeah.
How would you separate film and theater?
The box. It's really about the box. Theater is a big box where you have to be expressive, you have to project, you have to perform. My teacher, one of the pioneers of theater, like in Kenya, a white man named James Falkland, told us, I remember him telling us, when you're in a theater, you're performing to two types of people, a blind person and a deaf person, who are seated at the very end of the auditorium. And you have to, the blind person needs to hear you,
yeah.
And the deaf needs to, from your body, they need to feel you're angry, you're in love, you're tender, you're passionate, all these things. And that's quite something. But when we come to the film and TV, we compress the box. You know, we make it smaller such that people can see the glitter in your eyes, the twinkle on your face, the smile, mild smile, so that you don't have to really make it big. Yeah, and I think from history, I can easily say my experience as an actor, as a theater actor, has really molded in making me, you know, a proper, if I am, a proper film actor. Because it's really about containing it. When you imagine the big size and the box, and you know, you can whisper, you have the lapel right there or a boom right there, and that emotion can just be whispered, and it will come out good. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with the real UG. Don't go away.
Africa. Mashariki.
right, everybody, we are back with the real UG, and my guest today is none other than Gilbert Lukalia. I'm sure you're having a good time in Uganda, are you?
Oh, well. Do I look like I'm having a bad time?
Well,
I've really enjoyed my being here. Yeah. Well, maybe because my world has been filled with film and only film.
Yeah. Okay, so before we had a break, we were talking about you as an actor, your perspective as an actor, both in theater and in film.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a better actor or a better director?
That's really for people to say, isn't it? But I must say I have achieved some quite, good things both ways. I have been in the Kalash Awards. I've been nominated every other year for acting, and I have won an award 3 times.
Great,
I've been nominated as a director 3 times, and I've won the award once. So really, I'm glad about it. I'm just hoping that I have there's enough work to do in one. Right now, I'm really concentrating on directing, and I'm just hoping that I can create more work as a director, and then I think we'll not be talking about national awards. We'll be talking about regional and continental and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of awards. Could you give us more? Could you put more light on the specific nominations and what films?
Well, as an actor, I have been nominated in a TV series which was called Siri, funded by the PSI.
Siri, iPhone.
Sorry?
Siri, iPhone, Siri?
No. Siri in Swahili means a secret. And it was a story about HIV in a community, and especially in the tea plantations, people who work in the tea plantations who have really miserable salaries, and how they get into reckless behaviors, and some of these protections, and they're quite luxurious. They're things they cannot afford, and all that. But I was playing this guy who's quite interesting, who was a sect leader, and he does not believe in protection. He believes in having as many children as he possibly can, especially boys. He does not believe in hospital. He does not. Basically, he's that person, and he heads this sect where he was told, for you to achieve the highest order in the sect, you have to have a boy. So the wife is always pregnant, like every other time.
Wow, just looking for a boy.
Yeah, looking for a boy.
You must have had fun with that.
Well, the act wasn't being filmed.
Okay.
It was the eventuality that was being
all right.
filmed.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember one scene, and I think that made the day, because my pregnant wife is taken to hospital, and I also don't believe in this medicine and hospital, so I'm called from my workplace, and I'm told your wife has been taken to hospital. And I storm in there, and I'm fuming, and I'm telling them, you shouldn't have brought my wife to this sinful place, and and then I'm told we managed to save her life, but you lost the boy. And there was this moment of just silence, and you're blaming them, people who you in the first place did not want them to be in the custody of your family, but now it's their fault, And I remember why it's so special, because the director looked at it, a guy I respect, and I hope sometime he'll watch this show, whether it's online or wherever, and he's from Britain. He's called Paul Rolston, and he came to me and he told me, I've never seen something like that, and I've worked with many good actors. And I felt good, but I felt the pressure inside my stomach, because it was, I think, the second day of filming in about 40-something days of filming. And I'm like, if this happens to me on the second day, what will happen in the next days? Yeah. So the pressure is all on your shoulders, but it works well when you embrace it and you prepare. And I must say it was quite a professional set. So I won that award. I did a legal drama in Kenya called Nairobi Law. I was a prosecuting lawyer. I won that as well. And then the third one was a supporting actor, actually, in Marshall of Finland. There's quite an interesting story about that, because I was I'll just brush over it. I was hired as a second AD on the set of Marshall of Finland, and then the director dropped
I'm confused.
off.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Please find me.
Well, this is it. A job comes, you're hired, and people say, yeah, there's this director, and are we together?
Yeah, we're together. Let's go.
Yeah, and then so I'm hired as a second AD, and I'm there planning schedules, and then 5 days to the shoot, the director is MIA. Gets a very lucrative job. I think it was with Tusker Project Film. I forget, but yeah, I think it was. And I said, I mean, I was told you're stepping in. It was a simple thing, really, because as a second AD, you go through the script a million times, you know. So it was really like just readjust. And well, I swam into it. Oh, and I was already acting as well as a second AD, but I had a bit of a part. And yeah. I did it. I directed myself.
And it was nominated?
Yes.
And it won?
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you did a great...
I think I did.
You did a great job. Well done with that. Well done with that.
Yeah. Directing, my director's award came with... well, I've directed a few feature films. My first initial feature never really came out. I guess many directors have those moments, and it was called Mtoto wa Mjini, which is Swahili of Mtoto wa Mjini, like a city boy sort of scenario. It was in Dar es Salaam. Well, it never got anywhere. And then in 2011, I directed a movie called Shattered, featuring Rita Dominic of Nigeria, and I got nominated, but I usually say it was unfortunate because I was nominated, and it was the same year as Nairobi Half-Life. And Nairobi Half-Life had these bars, and these bars was happening when my producers were fighting. Yeah. And
your producers were husband and wife?
Absolutely. How did you know that?
Well, it's logical.
Yes, they were. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they're one of those couples that were, you know, wanted to invest in the film industry, and then they fought, and you know, it was amazing because they put in a lot of money into it. 35 million Kenya shillings, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's not a budget you get everywhere, especially in a growing industry.
That's about 100 million shillings. I'm not sure.
In UG?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I was saying.
No.
100 million shillings.
Going to a billion, I think. Yeah.
A billion shillings.
Yeah. It's 30
all
times
gone
30,
to West.
900. It's a billion end, UGX.
My name is Kezia. I was brought up in a regular family with regular parents who loved me. But then something happened. Oh God, this isn't happening to me.
When my friend Kezia here needs a ride to town, could you please drop her?
You think you can control me? I won't let you.
You're my slave.
I'm looking for this girl. Do you know her?
You just sit here pretending like everything is okay. Who's even bothered to call the police?
Let it melt, and after a few minutes, you'll feel like a Spanish matador.
Kezia has been living with that man for God knows how long. He was a drug addict.
She's seeking attention. She went away to God knows where for 5 months. It's an act. You are her parents. Do something.
But then I did a labor of love project, what you call labor of love project, a story called Strength of a Woman, a simple story about a village girl who, the father is an alcoholic, and you know, but she's determined to achieve whatever she can achieve, and yeah, that is when I really won the best director for the film.
Wow, amazing. That's pretty amazing. Sounds like you are a busy man. Do you have a personal life? Like, do you have hobbies, you know, based on the fact that you are here directing and acting? Do you have a personal life? Like, do you have hobbies, things that you like to do besides acting or directing?
I'm glad to say my hobby is my work.
I love watching stuff. I love watching films. I love watching. That's really what I love. And even when I'm not working, I'm watching something. I'm reading something. I'm watching documentaries. I'm watching behind the scenes of great people who we want to emulate, the Spielbergs of this world, the Quentin Tarantinos of this world, actors, Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm constantly doing that. But yes, of course, I have other things that I love doing. Well, that might be a story for another day.
Well, Gilbert, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you're going to tell us more of what you're doing in Uganda right now.
Well.
Don't go away, there's still more to come with The Real UG.
Africa.
You're still watching The Real UG, and my guest today was just about to explain to us why he's in Uganda. So Gilbert, you're in Uganda now. Are you on any project, acting, directing?
I just finished the filming, principal photography for a film.
Okay.
I'm not so sure I can disclose so much about it at the moment. I was directing. It's now, we're just doing like the first week of post-production, and it's gonna be a long time.
Oh, wow, amazing. And have you done any productions in Uganda before this?
Last year I featured in a play, a theater play, it was called You, Me and the Silence by Silent Voices Uganda. Yeah, quite an interesting experience, I must say.
Yeah. I think you must be relocating to Uganda soon.
I hope so, and Rwanda and Dar es Salaam and everywhere else. There's really a lot that we can gain from each other or off each other, and that's really my persuasion. I want to celebrate my 50 with another feather on my hat about. I like calling it consolidating the East African market, film market.
Yeah.
I think it's long overdue. I think it's something that we really need to pursue. I think it will open many doors, and we will fix many problems, and especially the problem of money. We always complaining about money is still little, but yet we sit and write creative stories, but we never factor in the issue of the economic aspect, financial aspect of the production. And from my education in film, they usually say 30% of your budget should go into marketing. And crazy, we see the Black Panther, how loud it is, and we wonder, it's not just Facebook, it's not just Twitter, it's not me sharing a photo, it's really money that has been put in there. And you see numbers, if we talk Kenyan with a population of about 50, UG, I think, 30, 40, Tanzania, 60, we're talking about 200 million people in East Africa. If we can harness that, if we can tap into that, and tell stories that can cut across the borders, whether it's theatrical or film, then I think we will be reveling in the joy of making good monies, and this thing of Amanda paid will be a thing of the past, and waiting for sponsors and donors will be a thing of the past. We can never, no industry grows because of sponsors and donors.
All right.
No.
Well, way to go, way to go. And you are rumored to be heading to Broadway.
Yeah. Well.
Confirm the rumor?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
That's true. Yeah, I'll be performing in a musical piece that was first done in Kenya. It's an animation. It first featured as an animation, and it won awards at the Kalasha Film Festival as one Best Animated Series, Tinga Tinga. Then it was adapted for a stage musical. It was done, I think, in 2016. I wasn't part of it, but now they're traveling to Broadway, and they asked me, requested me to be to be a part of it. Yeah, and I considered it, and then I said, yeah.
Did you even think about it? That you considered it?
Let me tell you, you need to learn how to not be look a bit desperate. You know, I do that a lot.
I'm sure when it comes to Broadway, there is no desperation involved.
True. That's very true. But it's just that thing that I usually say. In my heart, I'm saying yes, but to you, I'm saying, well, and then I say yes eventually. The moment you told me it's Broadway, I said yes, but we'll have to look at other factors. But it's not even that. To me, it's really the Broadway is a place I've wanted to be. I experienced Broadway as an outsider. 2011, I think, I was in New York for about 2 months, and every day our host made sure that we watched a Broadway play.
So you see, that's why you're like, when it came through, you had to consider it, because been there,
you know,
done people watched it, seen it.
Now I'll be there physically. Well, I hope something doesn't happen in between, because this is a few months and you never know. I might just get a sweeter project maybe in Los Angeles as opposed to New York. And then I say, maybe I'd go to Los Angeles.
So if you're going to Los Angeles, can you recommend me to go for the Broadway?
Can you play a lion? can you play a lion in a theater musical? Can you sing?
We'll see about that. Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
In all your endeavors, and we are surely lucky to have you on The Real UG. It's been a real pleasure. But before I let you go, I'd like for you to look into this camera and just give us your final remarks.
Wow.
In 5 seconds.
5 seconds, I talk a lot. 5 seconds, I'll try. The first thing is what I just said, that we need to consolidate our film market. It will mean more if we, put together the numbers. That's the first thing. The second thing really is to my fellow filmmakers and artists, let's get united, whether it's local. We are happy to be in such a place in Kenya right now where we have guilds. We have the Actors Guild, which I had the privilege of being the pioneer chair. Not a good job, not an easy job, but I did it, and I rubbed shoulders. We fell off with many producers because I was blacklisting them and telling them pay up. Yeah, because I do this for a living. I do not have another side hustle, like they call it. I need to make sure that this pays my bills. I need to make sure that my children go to the best schools, and for me to do that, you producers need to pay. But I have a secret for the filmmakers and actors all over. Just get united. Get united, speak with one voice. If that producer says that's too much you're asking for, walk out in protest. And then the screenwriters will be like, we cannot write for any other characters. If you're united, Yeah.
Amazing. Well, unity and unity and unity. Well, thank you so much, Gilbert, for coming through.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure having you.
Well, I hope to come back again.
Okay, and on that note, we are delighted to say it has come to the end of this episode, and be sure to catch us next time. Also, don't forget to follow us and like all our social media handles for more news and updates on the film industry of Uganda and East Africa in general. I'm your host, Mona. This is The Real UG. Keep those cameras rolling. We're out.